All right, so one of the things that we're going to be using our stamp block to do is to pull impressions in a fresh piece of clay, which we'll then be able to use on Monday to create our own stamps of the symbols that we took a long time to make, but these will come out much quicker. Here's how you're going to do that. Get yourself a nice moist lump of clay and make sure that it is already the size of your stamp. I'm going to pull an impression from my initials, and so I've got myself a piece of clay that's going to be at least that big. I actually want to flatten it out just a little bit more so that I know that when I put it down, it's going to reach the entire stamp. I'm going to press it down. All right, so this is what I ended up with. I got my initials pulled out. Of course, this is backwards. And I'm going to allow this to leather harden over the weekend so that when I try to use it on Monday, it will be a nice firm stamp to press into more fresh clay. Next, I'm going to pull an impression from my symbol. All right, our last step after we get everything pressed in is to trim the edges. Now, usually I'm telling you to cut through carefully, but I just did a straight chop down the sides and I got my stamp looking pretty good. I'm now going to use a tool that I haven't used before, the sponge that I put into all your kits. And I'm just going to use that sponge to clean up the edge. When you have clay that is soft, if you have a sharp edge, that's fine. But as it dries out, and especially after it comes out of the kiln, you're going to find that those ragged edges are actually really sharp to the touch. And so, just like you can do with anything with your clay, you can really make it a lot smoother, nicer, and neater just by hitting it with a sponge, or wiping it with a sponge, rather. If you get to this point and you wish that your lines were deeper in one section of your stamp, that's perfectly acceptable. And here's what you can do. You can use this tongue depressor tool or your popsicle stick. Simply deepen the lines around your original mark by kind of running it sideways. Now, it's a little bit harder to do in a tighter space. You can just press down as well. This will make a little bit of a rougher surface, and you can end up messing up your original line, so you want to be careful. Once you got that done, simply reuse the sponge, and that will help smooth everything out, especially if you wipe it down with your finger a little bit. All right, so I've got slightly deeper lines.